Now let's talk about a proper legend, a real star. We're talking about the one, the only, Robert De Niro. You say the name, and you immediately think of some of the most powerful moments in cinema history. It's almost impossible to imagine Hollywood without him, isn't it? He just burst onto the scene and completely changed the game. Think about it. One minute you have the slick, charming leading men of old Hollywood, and the next, you have this raw, intense, and incredibly real presence. He wasn't just acting, he was living on screen, and we were all absolutely hooked from the very beginning. His early work with Martin Scorsese was nothing short of a revolution. It all really kicked off with films like Mean Streets. He wasn't the main character, but my goodness, did he steal every scene he was in? He played Johnny Boy, this wonderfully chaotic and self-destructive character, and you just couldn't take your eyes off him. It was like watching a firework that could go off at any second. But then came Taxi Driver. Oh, Taxi Driver. That was the one that cemented his place in the history books. As Travis Bickle, he wasn't just playing a lonely, disturbed taxi driver in New York City. No, he was Travis Bickle. The performance was so immersive, so chillingly believable, that it felt less like a movie and more like a documentary about one man's descent into madness. So, how did he do it? What was his secret? Well, it all comes down to one word: transformation. De Niro is the absolute master of becoming someone else entirely. We're not just talking about putting on a wig and a funny accent. Oh no, he goes all in. He's famous for what they call method acting, which basically means he doesn't just play the part, he lives it. For the film Raging Bull, where he played the boxer Jake LaMotta, his commitment was just off the charts. It's the stuff of legend, really. First, he trained like a professional athlete, getting himself into incredible physical shape to portray LaMotta in his prime. But then, for the later scenes showing an older, heavier LaMotta, he did something unbelievable. He flew to Italy, ate his way through mountains of pasta and whatever else he could find, and gained a staggering 60 pounds. This wasn't a one-off either. He's done it time and time again. For Taxi Driver, he got a real cab driver's license and spent weeks driving around New York City, talking to passengers and getting a feel for the job. For The Untouchables, he tracked down Al Capone's original tailors to have his suits made from the same patterns. He even wore silk underwear, just like Capone did, even though you'd never see it on screen. Why? Because it helped him feel the part. When you watch him in a film like Heat, playing the master thief Neil McCauley, you see a man who is disciplined, precise, and completely in control. De Niro meticulously researched the lives of career criminals to understand that mindset. You believe he has lived that life because, in a way, he has. He dedicates months, sometimes years, to inhabiting these roles, and that commitment is precisely what separates him from nearly everyone else. It's not just acting. It's a total, mind-bending immersion. When you think of De Niro, certain scenes just pop into your head, don't they? They're burned into our collective memory. Let's start with the most famous one of all, the mirror scene in Taxi Driver. "You talking to me?" It's one of the most quoted lines in movie history, and the brilliant part is, it wasn't even in the script. The screenplay just said, Travis talks to himself in the mirror. De Niro came up with it all on the spot. That moment perfectly captures Travis Bickle's loneliness and escalating aggression. Then fast forward to Heat. That diner scene, my word. For the first time ever, we had Robert De Niro and Al Pacino, two absolute titans of acting, sharing the screen. The tension was extraordinary. You'd expect shouting, maybe a table flip, but no, the scene is quiet, it's controlled, it's just two men, masters of their respective crafts, talking. They find a strange respect for each other, even as they acknowledge that one of them will likely have to kill the other. And we can't forget his comedic side. People often think of him as this serious, intense fellow, but he's hilarious. Look at his role in Meet the Parents as Jack Burns, the ex-CIA father-in-law from hell. The scene where he subjects Ben Stiller's character to a lie detector test is comic genius. His deadpan delivery and unwavering seriousness make the situation absurdly funny. He uses that same intensity that made him terrifying in his gangster roles and channels it into comedy. He can make you grip your seat in fear, or make you cry with laughter, all with the same level of commitment and believability. That's a rare, rare talent. Each of these moments showcases something different about his genius. What connects them all is his total presence. When De Niro is on screen, you can't look away. He commands your attention not through grand gestures, but through the sheer force of his conviction. He makes you believe, and in the world of movies, there is no greater gift than that. So, what is the De Niro effect? Why is he so important? Well, he basically redrew the map for what it meant to be a movie actor. Before him, there was often a clear line between the actor and the character. But De Niro erased that line. He brought a new kind of realism to the screen, a style that was gritty, unpredictable, and deeply human. He wasn't afraid to be unlikable, to be ugly, to show the dark and messy parts of the human psyche. His influence on other actors is just immense. You can see a little bit of De Niro in so many of today's greatest performers. Actors like Christian Bale, who famously transforms his body for roles, or the late, great Philip Seymour Hoffman, who had that same ability to disappear into a character completely. De Niro set a new standard of dedication. He showed that true artistry required sacrifice, research, and a willingness to go to uncomfortable places. He made it cool to be a character actor in a leading man's body. Even today, well into his career, he continues to be a vital presence in cinema. While he might be making more comedies and lighter fare, that spark is still there. That intensity still flickers in his eyes. He has built a body of work that is staggering in its scope and quality. From gangster epics and psychological thrillers to family comedies and romantic dramas, he has done it all. His career is a testament to longevity, to adapting, and to never losing that fundamental love for the craft of acting. He's not just an actor, he's an institution, a landmark in the cinematic landscape that other artists will navigate by for years to come. Ultimately, Robert De Niro is more than just a legend. He is a benchmark for greatness. He taught us that acting could be dangerous, transformative, and profoundly moving. Whether he's asking if you're talking to him or welcoming you into his circle of trust, he has left an indelible mark on all of us. He's a true artist who elevated his medium, and for that, we will always be watching, always be captivated, and always be grateful for the one and only Bobby D. What a star.